Welcome. I'd like to call May 26th regularly the special meeting of the Planning Commission to order. And let's duly note that all planning commissioners are here and present. And if we could call on Commissioner Ludden to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom. All right, no presentation items tonight, so we will move to the consent calendar. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. We'll all vote. Okay, so if anybody has anything to address to the Planning Commission of an item not on the agenda, now would be the time. Are there any? None? Okay, so then we'll just move right on to our presentation items. And that would be Ms. Nikki.
Thank you. Our first public hearing tonight is for the Baker Ranch commercial site, and we have a presentation by Amanda Loffer.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. The item before you tonight is a planned sign program for the new Baker Ranch commercial site located at the southeast corner of Alton Parkway and Rancho Parkway South. The planned sign program proposes regulations for 3 monument signs, tenant wall signage, drive-through signage, and other incidental signage. The Baker Ranch commercial site buildings were originally approved by the Planning Commission in 2015 under 2 separate site development permits. The shopping center features 1 multi-tenant building, 1 single-tenant drive-through building, and a freestanding Montessori school. The buildings are currently under construction. The applicant is proposing to have a total of 3 monument signs for the shopping center, which exceeds the number allowed under the Lake Forest Municipal Code. As described in your report, the proposed monument signs will be placed around the perimeter of the shopping center and are only visible to vehicles traveling in different directions around the project site. The planned sign program also proposes regulations and locations for drive-through signage for the drive-through tenant Starbucks. The proposed drive-through signage includes directional signage, a preview board, a menu board, an order confirmation screen, and protective canopy and a clearance bar. The order confirmation screen and speaker will be facing away from the nearby residential properties, and additional drive-through signage will be partially screened by landscaping along Alton Parkway. The planned sign program proposes certain regulations for tenant wall signage, including specific locations where signage can be located on the building frontage in order to avoid conflicts with architectural features. Overall, the planned sign program will help to create a more uniform appearance for the shopping center, and staff is recommending approval of this planned sign program. I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have, and the applicant is in the audience as well. Thank you.
Any questions? Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Cindy and John Loffer. They are our most loyal watchers. They live somewhere up north, and they happen to be the parents of Miss Amanda. And it should be noted that Amanda's mother was a Tri-Delt, and the Tri-Delts may be watching, all from UCI, and we just like to say thank you. Good job, Amanda. Don't you think she did a good job? Okay, that'll be at Christmas now. No questions for staff, so we'll go to public comments. Richard Borston.
Good evening. My name is Rich Borston. I am the developer and representing the Shays, and We have worked with Amanda on the sign program, and as you say, she's did a wonderful job, and we thank her very much for her cooperation. And I'm here to answer any questions that you have. What the project's going through, as you can, if you've driven by it, it's almost completed. I think it's a good-looking project, and we think the signage program is going to enhance it.
Does anybody have any questions for the applicant?
Just, we, the necessity of 3 signs is basically what's the reasoning behind having 3, and maybe you can kind of expound on that just a little bit.
Well, the reason being is you have the corner piece, and you want to have that as your monument sign, and of people driving by both ways, but the other sign is on Rancho and the other sign is on Alton, and we just thought and that it would be good for the people who are driving by to have it. And I think it was important to have one on Rancho, and because when they drive, they're going to go past the driveway before they actually see what is there, and somewhat the same with the one on Alton. And obviously we wanted one on the corner to talk about Baker Ranch and to show what type of tenants we have, so people will know exactly what's in the center. Just to kind of let you know also, Starbucks is planning on opening July 1st, somewhere in that vicinity. So they're moving ahead really, really fast. And we have one tenant for the 6,000 square foot building, and it's a Japanese sushi restaurant that has a couple of these different Japanese restaurants. It's a very good operator. And then we have the school, and it's Goddard School, and it's a great school, and we're really, really proud of it. It's coming along, and it should be completed by July 1st, probably even sooner than that. So,
Well, thank you for that update. I think we might have one more question here.
yes,
No,
sir.
it's not a question, it's more of a comment. I know our sign code says that there should be 2 signs and not 3, and I don't have a problem with that. I think the longer that I live, the longer I realize that I need to have a little extra warning in my own.
I'm with you.
I'm not in favor of us modifying our sign code, that's not the point. But I am in favor of having it come back and having us have an opportunity to look at it and see where it fits and it doesn't fit. And I think this is an occasion that it does fit.
And we have no problem. We think you need to take a look at it and approve it.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any other speakers on this item? All right, so we'll bring it back up here. Does anybody else have questions for staff? Any other comments? Thank you, Jerry. I think you said it very well. With that, maybe we could hear from Commissioner
I'll
Ludden.
make a motion to close the public hearing.
On that.
All right, it's been seconded, and let's vote. Motion carried. All right, we will move along to item number 3. Thank you. And I'd like to say, too, that Nikki is filling in quite well tonight for Gail, who is what? An Italian beach or something?
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Chair. Members of the Commission. The next item is tentative parcel map to subdivide 2-story office building and a changed plan for facade improvements and landscape improvements, and we have a report from Amy Stonich.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Commission. The applicant is requesting a tentative parcel map to subdivide an existing commercial building for condominium purposes and a change plan for facade changes and landscape improvements to the building and project site. The site is located on the west corner of Rockfield Boulevard and Mercury Road. The existing 2-story building was constructed in 1979 and it's approximately 46,000 square feet. The proposal includes creating up to 30 condominium units that range in size from 827 square feet to 2,796 square feet. The building improvements include new brick to the facade, columns, new metal awnings and vertical accents at the entry, new entry doors and windows, and new horizontal longboard siding and a light fir finish to replace the existing wood siding. Due to the updates to accommodate a new entry and ADA parking, the number of parking spaces will be reduced by 2 stalls. The overall parking will continue to meet the minimum requirements for city code. New landscaping will replace the existing trees, shrubs, and grass throughout the site. And new landscaping will consist of drought-tolerant plantings, and a low-volume drip tubing irrigation system will be installed as well. Staff has reviewed the proposal and found that the proposed improvements are consistent with the city's general plan, the Subdivision Map Act, and zoning code and the city's design guidelines. The updated facade and landscaping will provide an architecturally updated building and water-efficient landscape, creating an attractive office building for the neighborhood. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution approving the project. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions. The property owner, Tom Talian, is in the audience as well, and he's available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? All right. Well, with that, we must have a speaker.
Tom Talian?
Good evening. This is my first development opportunity in the city of Lake Forest, and I've had a great experience so far in working with Amy and your staff. I'm here this evening just to answer any questions that you might have. This is an older building, 30 years old, and we're going to completely redo the exterior and the atrium and interior areas, all new landscaping, all new monument signs, etc. And then we're going to put it back on the market in about 8 months on a office condominium basis. So it seems relatively simple, but I'm definitely here to answer any questions.
Commissioner Ludden.
When you reopen the project, will you be selling the condominiums or are you going to be renting them?
Selling?
Selling. So they'll actually own them. Okay.
That's correct. We'll form an association, do all that's necessary to have an association and a condo plan.
Thank you.
I have a question. Interesting idea. Glad to see you're doing this. I suppose with all the effort you've gone through, you feel there's a market demand for those spaces in that location?
Unequivocally. Unequivocally.
Very strong?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's happened across the freeway with all of the Bacchus developments is part of the spectrum. There is basically no available product for sale, and nobody's doing what we're doing right now in the marketplace, and for sure in your city.
So then setting up the Office Owners Association, should we say? And then the law requires, I believe, reserves and everything. You feel comfortable with all of that?
Yes. I've
Carrying
done this
it until it
before.
sells?
Yeah, I've done this before. This isn't our first time doing it. We'll form an association. We'll form a budget. The budget will include reserves for maintenance of the building and maintenance of the property. Upon my selling the last unit, and the association will be formed, and the association will appoint a board to manage the association, and the board will consist of owners, and they will make the appropriate decisions as the property and as time progresses.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess I have one more question.
Sure.
This is an airspace condominium on a parcel map. There's no indication of how it's being divided. So at one point they'll come back and that map will then, the parcel map goes to the city council?
Through the chair, through the Subdivision Map Act, they have the opportunity to split the unit into up to a specific number, and here through this approving it up to 30 units would allow that flexibility for them to
do those condos at any size as indicated in the staff report.
Right. So
But it doesn't need...
we don't deal with that. But
But-
then the parcel map does go to the city council.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Can I respond to your
Sure.
question? The city doesn't see the condo plan that has the various size units and what their dimensions are, but I cannot record the map with the county until I finalize that. That becomes
Yes.
part of the condo plan. And so we're not willing to go to the market without the specificity of that. So
Right.
before we're ready to go to the market, that will all be complete.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any other speakers? Okay, so we'll bring it back up here. Does anybody have any comments on this project?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the building. This one was a previous tenant. I'm glad to see that there's being some attention given to it. I really, when I saw this, I thought, it's a good idea to go ahead with what you're doing. Selling it as condos, business condos, I think is an excellent proposition for this kind of a location in this building. So, and it's in line with what has going on throughout the rest of the city in this, the regeneration. This building is old, but it's not a bad building. And I think, it's got a good location in terms of what is in and around the area and continuing to, be brought into the area. So I like this project.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I just want to add, when I first heard about it without seeing the project, I was a little concerned. But then looking at all the details and everything, I'm really happy that with the project, and I'm glad that you all are showing the initiative to do that, to modernize that building. Thank you.
Okay, so we would be looking for a motion.
I'll go ahead and move we close the public hearing and approve staff recommendation.
I'll second the motion.
All right, let's vote. It's been moved and seconded. Motion carries 5-0. All right, we're moving along to item number 4. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Chair Fuentes, members of the commission. This evening is a development permit and a plan program for the Foothill Retail Center facade remodel and plan sign program, and we have another report from Amanda Laffer.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. The item before you tonight is a site development permit for the shopping center remodel of the Foothill Retail Center located at 20651 Lake Forest Drive. The project was originally noticed as a site development permit and a plan sign program. However, after the public notices were sent, the applicant for the plan sign program requested to make additional changes. Therefore, staff has requested that the Planning Commission continue the plan sign program until the June 9th Planning Commission meeting. This site development permit includes new building facades, a new outdoor dining patio, minor parking lot modifications, and landscape improvements. The proposed building facade remodel will feature a more modern appearance with the incorporation of wooden elements, a metal seam roof, and metal canopies. A new 390-square-foot outdoor dining patio will be added towards the northwest section of the parking lot. As shown in the staff report, the parking available on-site exceeds the number required by the municipal code with the additional patio area seating. The applicant is proposing minor parking lot modifications, including the relocation of a trash enclosure, a new fountain in the center of the parking lot, and parking lot restriping to accommodate for the new outdoor dining and patio areas. Lastly, this project includes landscape improvements along the street frontages and throughout the parking lot. Additional landscaping, which includes trees, shrubs, and ground cover, will help to enhance the overall street frontage. An additional condition of approval has been added to ensure that all the new landscaping is installed in accordance to the city's water efficiency landscape ordinance. The subject site development permit meets all zoning code requirements and is consistent with the general plan designation and citywide design guidelines. Therefore, staff is recommending approval of the site development permit. I will be happy to answer any questions that you might have, and the applicant is in the audience as well. Thank you.
Are there any questions?
I have a question. Amanda, I guess I'm not connecting here for some reason. I'm trying to get an idea what the accent wood elements, where are those going to be?
Those are featured throughout the new building facades. Currently, the buildings in the shopping center just feature plain white stucco, and as shown in the plans, even on the cover sheet here, you can see there's wooden elements above the storefronts of certain tenants there, and then some architectural elements have been added to towers along
Yeah,
the corner.
that's what I was thinking it might be, but I wanted to just get that clear in my own mind.
Yeah.
Okay, one other question for you. I'm assuming by it says wood elements now, is that natural wood or has engineered wood product or something like that, have that been entertained?
I'm not sure what
Okay.
type.
All right. Okay, well, we'll get that from
wood.
the applicant.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'm the architect, Jordan Seagraves.
Okay, well, maybe we'll continue our questions of staff, and we'll hold you for that until we, thank you. Of course, there's probably going to be no other questions of staff, and you're going to come right back up here, but, you know, little exercise at these meetings are good. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. We'll bring it back up here. Does anybody have any, we would like to hear from our public speakers, sorry. Okay, we need you to fill out a form, but we'll do that later, and we'll just come up, and if you could state your name and your city of residence. And now you can speak. I am so sorry.
I'm the architect, the applicant. City of residence, Ladera Ranch, California.
Can you state your name?
Jordan Seagraves.
Okay, I'll draw the same question to you. Where the wood accent elements are proposed here, did you give any consideration to something like engineered wood as opposed to natural
We're
wood?
looking at two different alternatives right now. We're looking at ipe
Okay,
as well as engineered wood.
okay,
So
all right.
one of those alternatives will be based on economics, will be
Sure.
what we decide to go with.
Yeah, well, my concern is, weathering of natural wood, just, it looks nice coming in, but then in a very short period of time, and why would we want to go ahead and do this if we're not going to do it well?
Correct. That's why
So-
we would look at an ipe wood, which
Okay.
is a very hard wood,
Yeah.
and it really doesn't discolor with sunlight.
Yeah.
Many wood's gray with sunlight or over time. Ipe would not.
Okay, yeah, great. You answered my question, thank you.
Any others?
I'm glad to see the modernization.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just curious, when you start work on that, how are you going to work around the existing tenants? What's the impact of the existing tenants?
Well, the contractor will have a means and methods typically, and not dissimilar to most retail malls that are open. They'll put in construction barricades as well as construction tunnels to each storefront.
I've seen those.
Yes.
Okay, it's kind of tough, but the center will look a lot better.
Correct.
Can you give us any more details about the fountain feature that you plan to add?
The fountain feature in the center? The fountain feature in the center will be more contemporary in nature, and it'll pretty much be not dissimilar to, did we put any pictures? No? Okay. We'll have some pictures for planning to approve, and we'll require approval of that before that actually gets built.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the architect? Thank you.
Personally, I'm very happy to see the number of people who are coming in now and improving all this commercial property. I think that is just amazing. We're really glad to see that, and I hope we see a lot more of that in the city going forward, especially in the areas that we've seen tonight, because there are areas that are getting to the point where they really need that rehabilitation. So from my point, I'm very pleased to see this happening, and I'm very grateful for what you're doing.
Thank you. All right. I would just note that when we make a motion that we want to continue the plan sign program for the June 9th meeting. No, it wasn't. I said when somebody does make a motion, I wasn't going to make it.
Let me make sure I understand what you're saying, that we're not prepared to take an action now?
we're prepared to take an action on the architectural, but there's a second one, a plan
Oh, the
sign.
sign? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I think that's in the staff as being part of the recommendation by staff. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was the third recommendation that staff
So-
made.
So we
was
don't
to
need a separate
continue.
motion on that. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and approve staff recommendation. That means all-inclusive, I think.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and approve the staff recommendation, including the continuation of the planned sign program.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we are going to move on to director's comments.
Thank you. I actually have two items I'm very excited about tonight. The first, on the 17th of May, the city authorized staff to prepare a request for proposals for a comprehensive update to our general plan. So for the next several months, and probably maybe till the end of the year, we're going to be looking to prepare an RFP, solicit bids, and pick our preferred consultant and bring that back to the council. And then we'll obviously be updating the Planning Commission at appropriate times and kick that effort off at the beginning of next year. It's anticipated to be about a 3-year-long effort at about $1.5 million, depending on what the council approves. So it's going to be a big effort, and we're very excited to get it off the ground and running. And then the second item, I'm also very pleased to announce that the Development Services Division received an award on behalf of the city last night from the Orange County American Planning Association at an awards banquet for the Opportunities Study area in the public participation category. So we'll be presenting that to the City Council on June 21st. And winning the county award allows us to submit at the state level. So we'll also be submitting for a state award, and we'll obviously keep you posted if we are successful there too. So good times in the Development Services Department.
Thank you. City Attorney?
No comment.
Okay. Surprise. All right, we'll bring it back up here for commissioner comments. Start down there.
First of all, for Mimi and Amanda, thank you for a job well done. Makes our job very easy. And I have an item. I wanted to ask staff to refresh our memory. Earlier this year, the Planning Commission and the City Council approved a revised sign ordinance that dealt with, quote, campaign signs. And is it correct that campaign signs are not permitted in the public right-of-way?
Chair and Planning Commission members, that's correct. The new ordinance on the new update to the sign ordinance prohibits campaign signs in the public right-of-way.
All right. What measures is the city taking to remove those signs from the public right-of-way?
The Code Enforcement Division is actively every day receiving calls and out addressing signs that may be illegally placed, and they're doing it absolutely as expeditiously as possible.
All right. Thank you.
I just wanted to echo what you guys were saying with regards to us redeveloping some of the older buildings and office complexes. I think that'll do wonders, and it'll really make the just look so much better and a lot more modernized. So I echo what you guys were saying with regards to that.
Okay, I'm going to give my public comments to a Mr. Tony Richter. Okay, but we want to state your name and your city of residence,
Tony
please.
Rector, Garden Grove, California, USA. So I do sign permits expediting for various sign contract clients. Principally, Starbucks is my largest account, obviously. And I've worked with these guys for probably about 10 years since I've been doing this in my retirement. And even when they say no, it's a pleasure. So you were honoring and giving a shout out and letter, and I just wanted to say something from the other side of the counter.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate that. You have a nice evening.
Can I go home now?
Yes, you may.
Well, I do want to commend this. I mean, every month when we come here, your job is always exceptional. And it's always concise and precise, and it's always a pleasure to work with you. I want you to know that we really appreciate the hard work that you do. I know these take a long time to put together, so I want to thank you from my behalf for all the work that you do to make it easy for me to understand what's going on.
I think I would be remiss if I didn't not only tag on to that, but maybe even expand a little bit. I'm doing this almost 11 and a half years, and not only, I mean, all elements of the staff are made probably about half of what it could be because of how exceptional the staff it has been in the past and is today in this city. Really, it's a pleasure to be part of this team. It is a big team, and the nearly 80,000 citizens of this city, look for us to do the job right. And I think we all do. We come in, we do our best, and I think it's working out. So, kudos to all you guys.
All right, with that, I think we are going to adjourn the meeting till June 9th. Thank you very much.